example, many of my students who came from non-English speaking homes had a hard time reading about teddy bears because they didn't have any of that vocabulary. So I remember one time a student was reading about teddy bears, and it was what we call running record, which is they were testing really poorly, and the teacher was actually so concerned that she was thinking of asking for the child to be retained to have another year at school. And what she was doing didn't match what I was seeing in the classroom, and I had done my own running records, and it was much higher because the child had no background knowledge. She had no schema. So if children are able to read about something they're interested in, or they have a lot of background knowledge in, they can actually read at a higher reading level. Same if the child has some support. So some of the really famous books in the United States are graphic novels. That means they're books with pictures, and I actually wrote one. They're books that have a lot of pictures. And if the child has picture support, the child can read at a higher level. So when we talk about reading levels, they're not fixed in stone. In other words, children can go up a little bit if they have a lot of schema. If it's something that's really technical or they don't know anything about, they may need to go down a little bit. And that's something that schools don't understand. And many schools have these very strict rules that a child can only read within their learning level, what we call as DPD, so proximal development. For example, if the child's reading level is measured to be a 2.1, that child can only read at a 1.8 to 2.4 maybe. There's a very strict band that child can read in. But actually that child can read a lot higher if, again,